I had so many grand plans for Halloween crochet this year, and exactly 0 of them panned out. So while we will be doing a bit of Halloween crochet in this video, I want to vent first. Apologies, but you are all now my wailing wall. So initially I wanted to do a week-long series for Halloween this year. I enjoy doing series, sporadically. It's fun, but the reality is I just didn't have time to do it this year. But then my sister happened to ask me if I would make a few custom spiders for her for Halloween decorations. And I thought to myself, you know what? We could potentially turn that into a mini series, which I started to do. I made 1 spider, which you guys, spoilers, may see later. But in crocheting that, I came to the realization that given the time frame I am working with, I wasn't going to be able to finish a mini series either. And then there was the disaster with the yarns. When my sister made her request, she asked for 2 smaller-ish spiders and 1 larger spider. And the larger spider I was going to make using a yarn I'd seen previously on the Spotlight website. I hadn't seen it before. I don't know if they've had it in stock previous Halloweens, but anyway, I came across it and I thought, yeah, okay, I will use that. So I ordered enough to make this spider. Several days later, I receive an email, and long story short, I'm not getting all my yarn. So what arrived was these 2 skeins. Not nearly enough to crochet the spider that I wanted to. And so that brings us to the present moment. I didn't get to do my original series. Wasn't going to be able to finish a mini series. And the backup plan, which was to crochet a spider with you guys testing out this yarn for the first time, is not going to happen either, because I don't have enough yarn to make the spider that I wanted to. This video is supposed to be ready in 2.5 days. So what I'm going to try and do is cobble together a somewhat cohesive video from the footage that I took while I was, customizing the 1 spider I was able to finish. And then maybe next week, I can crochet something else with this yarn. This was not something I planned to let sit on my shelf. I wanted to buy it, use it, one and done. And that's not likely to happen right now, but yeah, maybe that could be next week's video. So yeah, I guess there's going to be an abrupt cut here. Hopefully it's not too jarring, and you get to watch me customize a spider for Halloween. Apparently the only Halloween project I'm going to get around to doing this year. So I thought I would try my hand at making a zombie spider. And to facilitate that, I've grabbed out some yarn colors I thought would be appropriate. We're going to make the bulk of the spider green, but I'm going to add some fleshy details with this. I thought we could add in some patchwork maybe with the orange, and then just some smaller yarn details with the black. So, I don't know, some scars, things like that, perhaps. I don't really have a plan here today. I'm just gonna basically wing it, make things up as I go. Where is the center pull from this yarn? But I'm gonna start off with the head. The first thing I want to do, well, maybe the second thing I want to do after I detangle my yarn, but I want to alter the head pattern slightly because I want to make the top flat, because I think I'm going to add an exposed brain on the top of my spider. If I consult the pattern, we increase out to around 30, and then we start working just single crochet in the round to give us the length. So I might chuck in or change round 5 to be worked in the back loop only. So I'll get that the sharper corner in my piece. And then it's to that top section that I'll add the brain. There's a chance I may have accidentally overstuffed the head, but I think if I give it, a few days, it'll compress slightly. I find that happens with the stuffing. after ripping it all up, it bulks out a little bit, but then over time it sort of relaxes slightly. So hopefully that's just not me thinking optimistically. Hopefully that'll happen in this case, but like it's not too bad. And I suppose it's supposed to be a zombie anyway, so if it's a little bit lumpy and misshapen, I can just say I did that on purpose. But now that the head's finished, I think I'm going to go on and crochet the rest of the body pieces that I need. I was going to do the customizing next, you know, add all the little bits and pieces that I need to turn this into a zombie. But I think I'll leave that to the end when I have everything, so then I can do like all the customization at once rather than customizing each individual piece as I go. Yeah, I think it'll just tie together better if I do it at the end. So I'm going to pop you there, which means we're going to crochet the body piece next. Alrighty. Another piece down. Next up, I'm going to crochet the legs, and I'm not going to lie, this has always been sort of the worst part about this pattern, just having to repeat the same thing over and over 8 times. Gets a little bit tedious, but in this case, I do have a bit of a plan to combat some of that because I am going to customize 2 of the legs. Yes, I did say I was going to leave the customization to the end, but I was more referring to anything I need to add to the pattern. In this context, the adjustments I'm going to be making will be part of the crocheting I'm doing, so it doesn't really make sense to leave that to the end. So if everything goes according to plan, I'm only going to need to crochet 6 full legs rather than the usual 8, which to level with you is not really all that much of an improvement. And we're finally done. I swear crocheting these legs always feels like it takes forever. But I made the 6 full ones like I said I was going to. But I also made 2 that hopefully sort of give the appearance that they've either been, you know, hacked off or, you know, part of the limbs just fallen away because the zombie spider is rotting. I might add a bit more detail like in the center there, maybe add a little bit of white embroidery thread to look like a bone, but that is something I will say for the customization at the end. But I just have one more, actually no, correction. I have 2 more pieces I need to crochet. I need to crochet the fangs for the front of the face, and I need to crochet the back patch. Now the back patch, but anyway, with the back patch, you can see it's sort of narrower at one end. What I want to do when I customize this is basically start from, say, like 5-6 rows down, so skip those first ones. And I want to then make that edge sort of jagged. So again, it'll end up hopefully looking like it's been torn or ripped. And in addition to that, I'm going to throw in some pink stitches as well, which will hopefully give the appearance of, you know, open wounds, something like that. And that is also something I might be able to add some red yarn to. Something I did not expect to have to worry about though is the green yarn, or the dark green yarn I pulled out. This was in my 8-ply yarn stash, but I think because the label is missing, I have no idea where that is, if I even had it to begin with. But I think this yarn is actually 12-ply because when I was making the legs, you can see it's like noticeably thicker than the other green that I was using. So because I wanted to make the back patch out of that, I'm wondering if I do the pattern as is, if it's going to end up too large, so the sides will end up, you know, wrapping more around the body here. So I'm wondering if I should make the pattern a little bit narrower too, or like if it doesn't really matter. It probably really doesn't matter that much, does it? Like if I look at the legs, there's a slight difference, but it's not too noticeable. Yeah, I think I'll just leave it. It'll be fine. And it's another one of those things that if anyone questions it, I'll just say it's part of the zombie appeal. I did it on purpose. Completely intentional. finally done it. I've crocheted all of my foundation pieces. Give me half an hour to assemble them all, and then the real fun begins. I'm going to attempt to keep this brief. I felt like I've been getting sick for a few days and I can feel my voice is rapidly vanishing. I have assembled the spider for the most part. I did leave off one of the legs because I was thinking, that might add to the zombie vibes a little bit. But depending on how the rest of the customization goes, I might just add that back on there at a later point. But now that the majority of the assembly is complete, I do want to start customizing this thing. Like I said at the start, I want to add a brain at the top here, but aside from that, it's really just little details I want to add. I want to add some stitches, and I mean stitches in the the medical sense, not in the crochet sense. I want to add maybe a bit of blood spatter. I also want to add a couple of little bones to the bottom of the hacked off legs here. And I think once I've added all those pieces that I want to, we'll take stock of everything and decide if anything else needs to be added, or even perhaps if something needs to be removed. I haven't had a chance yet to edit that original proof of concept zombie video, so hopefully that wasn't too painful for you guys to sit through. But what I know for certain won't be painful to sit through is... And today's featured creator on the hookup is TheBlueBootBoutique, and she says, I pretty much do crochet and sewing, although I love all art. I love Western wear and I love building really genuine connections with artists and fans. I'm a very small business, but I hope to blossom soon. Well, if you would like to help the Blue Boot Boutique blossom, all of their links will be down in the description, and so will a link to the hookup form if you would like to apply for yourself. But now that we've done the hookup, I can reveal to you the zombie spider that I made a little while ago at this point. If I remember correctly, I was getting sick at the end of that video and it took me a few days to get over that. But anyway, not relevant. What is relevant is here is my spider. And to be honest, going into this, I wasn't sure how well zombie and spider was going to combine. But I think this turned out pretty good. The brain might be a little bit large. I think I went kind of overboard on that. But I'm actually really liking the eye detail, the little eyeball hanging by a disgusting meaty thread there. The legs look better than I thought they would, the hacked off pieces. And even omitting I think I've got it here. Even leaving off the final leg, I think was a nice touch in the end. Although looking at my spider now, I don't think I had much of a choice because I didn't space the legs on this side quite correctly and there wasn't really room for it anyway. But outside of that, I think I got the all the detail that I wanted. Probably just this red section here I could have done without, or maybe I just need to needle felt it some more. I don't think I did a particularly good job there. But yeah, overall, zombie spider, I like. And hopefully my sister likes it too because she'll be using it for decoration. Now this video, if I have scheduled correctly, should go up about a week before, actual Halloween on the 31st. So I'm hoping I get a chance to crochet at least one additional spider. The idea I had for that second customized spider was to make a pumpkin version. So basically all the front pieces, the head, the legs, they would remain the same, but I would turn the body into a pumpkin, fairly straightforward. The third spider I was going to make wasn't going to be, customized to or using any particular theme. I was just literally going to crochet a spider in Halloween colors using this yarn. But then Spotlight went ahead and ruined my plans. Damn you, Spotlight. But like I said in the intro, I do want to use up this yarn. I don't want it sitting on my shelf collecting dust for the next year. So, next week's video, perhaps we can do this. I could just make one of my smaller spiders. I've got a few spider patterns. There's these two versions. There's that one and like that one. But I know my sister wanted the larger version, and if I'm just making it for myself, like I don't really need more spiders at this point. And even if I do, there's that one spider I want to make, Cosmo from Arc, which is kind of in the research and development stages at the moment, meaning I'm thinking about making it, but there's other projects I want to get finished first. Another reason I want to use up this yarn is it's just going to continue to irk me every time I see it. I mean, I know you can't help these things. It's out of stock. But it's still frustrating. It is still frustrating. But anyway, thank you all for watching this video. Let me know what you thought of my zombie spider. If you were going to customize a spider, what would you make? I've got my zombie spider. I'm going to do a pumpkin spider if I get a chance. I was thinking maybe like a witch spider, but like how would I customize that outside of perhaps adding a witch's hat? I don't know. Maybe a mummy spider. You could like just make a spider and then wrap it in bandages. I feel like that's cheating a bit. That just seems like too much of a shortcut. But let me know your thoughts. Thank you all for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Share it if you think it's worth sharing. And I will see you in the next one, where hopefully we'll be using up this bloody yarn.